Gefechtsstation!
Hey everybody, Troa here, back for another episode of World of Warships, and today, a treat especial. I'm bringing you my first Tier 10 ship that I've unlocked and purchased, and that there is the Großer Kurfürst. Now, if you guys might remember some of my previous episodes, I really enjoyed the German line. Starting with, I like the Koenig more after the fact than when I was grinding through it. I like the Bayern. It was kind of like a New Mexico. And I like the New Mexico. And then you had the Gneisenau, which is really where things kicked off. That was a fun ship. That was awesome. Took a little getting used to, but it was awesome. And then there was the Bismarck. Oh, the Bismarck. Amazing ship. But after that, the party kind of ended. And that was with the Friedrich the Große. Now, I have a couple of games of that they're going to be older games, but I intend on uploading them at some point. And I mean, I really don't like too many of the Tier 9 ships at all, really, of the ones that I've played thus far. And I have all the Tier 9 battleships. I like the Izumo, but it's not very good. I like the Iowa, but it's not very good. And I didn't like the Friedrich the Große at first, but after a while it kind of grew on me, and it allowed me to take advantage of the shortcomings of the other ships. But following that, you get the Tier 10 Großer Kurfürst, and this ship is awesome. It is absolutely awesome. Now, there are a number of builds that are viable on this ship, but I wanted something like my Bismarck. I didn't want to give up the secondaries. They're extremely valuable. When you have a long reload and your guns really do so much damage you would prefer to send your shots elsewhere, I'd like having my secondaries be able to do a lot of work. So I'm running a full secondary build on this ship. I don't run the fire prevention and the concealment expert because it's just there's no use to it. In my mind, the fire prevention is useful. But the concealment expert on this ship? Come on. That's a huge ship. I see the application, but you have to stay so far back. And German ships don't do well staying back. They really don't. Now, what I run on this ship, like I said, I run the full secondary build. I run AFT, I run manual secondaries, and I run IFHE. Now, IFHE really doesn't do much for battleships at all. Actually, it doesn't do anything for battleships. It's a waste of points if you're just going to use them on a battleship. But for the Tier 9 and the Tier 10 German battleships, their secondaries, not all of them, but a lot of them, actually benefit from IFHE and allow them to penetrate the enemies that they normally wouldn't be able to do. So, you'll see in this game a couple of examples of that on ships that you normally wouldn't see melt that fast as secondaries. Now anyway, here I am. I'm in a division. I'm with my buddies Balakai and Rickling. And Balakai at this moment is working through the Tashkent. He's getting the Khabarovsk. And Rickling and I are helping him along by being in Tier 10s. And right now I'm just trying to catch up to him while maintaining an angle and not being an easy target for that Zhao and Yamato in the background. See the Yugamo, I go ahead and take a shot at him. The thing is, early on in a battleship, you're probably not going to hit anything at range. I mean, you can. It's not very likely if they're paying attention. And getting rid of the destroyers is going to make your game a lot easier. And it's highly recommended that you go ahead and take a shot at a destroyer if you've got one. A destroyer at 10 kilometers away is an easier target than, say, a cruiser at 18 kilometers away. You're probably not going to hit the cruiser. And Balakai just gets nuked by torpedoes. But he did go ahead and get the kill. So that's one destroyer down. And we're going to go ahead and move up, try to capture Charlie, and then move into Bravo. That's the idea. Now I'm following this Yamato in front of us, who is a good player, just makes a little mistake here, and I'll point it out so you guys can see what it is. It's a mistake that I make a lot too. Anyway, I'm just trying to get up here, trying to get a shot of something. The Frederick the Grosse isn't exactly the fastest ship, and it bleeds a lot of speed whenever it turns just the tiniest amount, which is good for dodging torpedoes. Really annoying if you're trying to catch up to your team. Might as well take a shot at the Kiev. The Yamato gets the shot on him and destroys him, so yeah, that guy's done. 2 destroyers down. Alright. So now we have this Yugamo. There's a Fletcher over there. And the majority of the enemy team is over at Alpha. So we gotta go ahead and move up. Trying to get my guns on the other side so I can engage the Yamato and still get my line in so I can use the island as ingress. So I don't have to show the my broadside. So I don't notice the Shimakaze on the map until now. And I go ahead and select him for my secondaries. Now, unfortunately, before they can go ahead and kick on into gear, he gets out of range and disappears. He sent some torps at the Yamato. And yes, the Yamato has a really great torpedo bulge, but those are still Shima torps, so that hurt. And I know there's about a 2-minute cooldown on that Shimakaze as far as torpedoes, so I'm not wasting my hydro yet. He pops up again, secondaries immediately open fire. I don't know why he's charging me if his torps are on a cooldown, but he did. Take a blind shot. Get 2 pens and 2 overpens. That's a lot of damage. Go ahead and pop my hydro now. His torps will be off cooldown soon. I'm trying to keep an angle to the people that are in Alpha, the Yamato as best I can, and the torpedoes that might be coming out of that angry smoke cloud. Yep, there you go. There's a big old chunk of damage taken off of him. Secondaries are opening up. Cool guys don't look at explosions. Go ahead and switch over to the Yamato. Get a good shot at some mutually assured destruction. Now, the mistake that the Yamato made was that he moved out a little too quickly without the support of the team quite yet. I mean, I like to see that, so I complimented him for being aggressive because it's so rare to see aggressive Yamatos, and I really, really like to see it. But yeah, he just got a little bit too far ahead of the destroyers. In the big tier 10 ships, the tier 9s as well, you really need to have an escort. They're just not as maneuverable as their lower tier counterparts. So the Moskvas bow in. I go ahead and stick my secondaries on him because I can go ahead and get pens on that Moskva with the IFHE secondaries. And I can burn him down. Kind of treat him like a battleship. I have 2 fires here, but I'm in between a Moskva and a Zhao, so I'm not putting them out. Trying to finish off that Moskva. I go ahead and put my secondaries on the Fletcher because I want to go ahead and disable any torpedo tubes before he fires them. But see, look at his health just shredding away. I'm the only one shooting at him. It's just my secondaries. Now I'm speeding up here because I know he launched torps and I want to dodge them. Go ahead and get the shot out on the Moskva, but the secondaries beat me to it. Go ahead and put out the fires now. Now it looks like my Shima is going to go ahead and smoke me up, so I'm moving to try to get into smoke. See that the Kurfürst is really not moving at all. There you go, Shima gets me into the smoke. final volley out. Go ahead and slow down. Check to see where the torpedoes are coming from. They're coming from the shimmer. And I really want to keep my secondaries on the Kurfürst, but I just have too much momentum and this thing just doesn't stop. So, with only one target to shoot at, I go ahead and move my guns over to the other side. Get the assist and capture. Go ahead and choose the Zhao as my secondary target because he's moving into range. Now this is going to let him know exactly where I am in the smoke flag, so this is dangerous. Especially because the Zhao has F3 torpedoes. I lose sight of him for a moment. I'm looking at the minimap right now to see where my teammates are. And I go, oh, it's going to take him too long to get out to where I can see him, so I go ahead and pop my spotter aircraft. Continuing with momentum, I know that the Shima started the smoke in front of me, so I want to be at the tail end of it when it starts to fade. I judge a little too far, but watch this. See that gearing? Watch how quickly his health disappears. That's the power of IFHE. Go ahead and dodge the torps. Put the secondaries back on the Zhao. Now he's run out of friends, and he hasn't sent torps towards me yet. My angle's still good against the Kurfürst, and I'm going to have an island in front of me. So I go ahead and start to speed up to bait torpedoes out of this guy. Because he thinks I'm just going to panic, try to run away, and that's going to be that. Alright, see the torps, go ahead and cut the speed. Full to starboard, and I should dodge these. Alright, we're good. Alright, guns on the other side. We have 2 caps. They only have the 1. And I need time to heal. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is let my cooldowns recharge, heal, and just wait for the points to tick up. Because now the ball is in their court. If I go running out there, I'm going to be in the middle of 3 battleships. And I'm just going to die and we're going to lose the game. So I'm just going to sit. I'm not detected, I have hard cover. And I have a good angle if they come around. So, I'm just going to sit. I see the Kurfürst coming. Figure I'm gonna go ahead and get an angle on him. But he sees me thanks to that plane, which makes the whole ambush not gonna work. He goes ahead and turns around. But I'm keeping an eye on him, seeing where he's gonna end up. I'm watching the Shimakaze, and I figure, you know, he hasn't been playing terribly up until this point. And he smoked me up, so I'm not going to criticize him, but I see what he's thinking about doing, and I'm really hoping he doesn't do it, because that's a Kurfürst. It's not like that's the Alabama or the North Carolina or something. He's got secondaries just like I do. Now, he's actually doing it, but there's really no going back from this once he's there. Now, the thing is why that's such a bad idea is A, you're chasing a running target around hard cover, so you're probably not going to have torp angles without really exposing yourself. Number one. Number two, that's a Kurfürst, and it has really good secondaries, so if you get spotted, you're going to die. Number three, it's a Kurfürst, and it has hydroacoustics, and you are in range to get spotted with hydroacoustics. So, it's really not a good idea. But, for the moment at least, he's decided to sit there. Neither one of them can really do anything against the other. So I'm backing up now to try to catch the Kurfürst as he leaves. There he is, secondaries are opening up. I aim a little too low here, and a little too far forward. Take out a gun though, 2 of them. Go ahead and get Confederate. And the Shimma showed himself. And the secondaries killed him. Which is unfortunate, as the Shimma was a good teammate, and I might need to smoke again. Kurfürst is getting around a corner, so I can't shoot him. By the way, I did, if I remember correctly, compliment the Shimma. If a destroyer smokes you up, compliment them, or at least say thank you by pressing F4. Alabama, these things are hard to hit at range. They're very maneuverable. I'm gonna go ahead and let out a volley. Now I figure that Moskva should have the Kurfürst. The Kurfürst has almost no health. Bow in Moskva shouldn't need my help. Alabama's turning. And I think he hit the brakes and turned back in, which caused those shells to bounce, which was really unfortunate. I wasn't quite sure at the time, so I go ahead and line up another shot. I think he's still coming directly towards me. And I have no idea about this shot. I really don't. Because they all miss. Not a single shell hits. So either I was messing with my aim or RNGesus just was not having it. But our North Carolina was able to get away and live. American battleships are stealthy for battleships. And as far as I can see, the Moskva's going to have short work of that Kurfürst. So I don't mind turning in. Even if this guy rams me, it's still going to be a win. I could just kite him around this mountain forever to ensure a victory, and then I see the Moskva get killed, and I'm like, oh no. Alright, do the map trick. Which is where you press M rapidly to see over the mountains, so I can see where he's going, how he's angled. Go ahead and angle against the Bama. Managed to pick up the Kurfürst and my Kraken. Now, I want to keep my guns on the left side because he's obviously going out wide. And RNGesus just says no. So I found on Alabama's you need to aim further forward. Their side armor is pretty trolly. But anyway, get an angle where I can keep my secondaries on him. He's turning in now, and because the Moskva died, I really don't want to die. So I'm speeding up while he's turning so I can cut in on his turn. I have turtleback, he doesn't. So I don't know why he's doing this. He should have his nose towards me. A good volley in. Keep the secondaries on him. Now I'm not going to turn. I'm just going to slow down and turn my turrets. Because if I turn and show my broadside again, he could kill me at 23,000 health. So just stay angled. let the clock run out, and that's a victory. Yeah, Kurfürst. Love it. One of my favorite ships. I'm not really that great with battleships overall, but I enjoyed that ship a lot. I really do. I like German battleships. I love the secondary builds. They're a lot of fun. I like being aggressive in battleships, which is probably why I don't do so well in them. Because I'm an aggressive player, and I like to have that armor up there. And if it wasn't for that Shimakaze, I would have lost. So the Shima was a huge part in why I was able to do what I did and why we were able to win the battle. So, teamwork. That gives the enemy something else to shoot at, to coin a phrase. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll catch you later. Peace.
Are we targeting?
All of them!
We are ready to enter the atmosphere.